What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. Today we'll be going over the 3 most important tips to make a nostalgic drum and bass from scratch. Alright guys, so let's get on to tip number 1, which is going to be to keep things simple. Something I've been trying to do a lot lately is trying to keep things as simple as possible in all my productions, but especially in the drum and bass stuff I've been making. I don't want to be playing anything that's too complex, anything that's too melodic. I don't want any complex lead layers on top of the ambience I'm trying to build throughout my tracks. So as you can see with this project, there really is not much going on aside from a bunch of layers of chords, a vocal chop, and a small subtle lead. I wouldn't even really call this a lead if I'm entirely honest. This is kind of just a texture kind of thing I'm trying to add on. You can really barely hear it in the mix. Another important piece to keeping things simple is to make sure your chord progression is interesting. You can do this in a couple different ways, but with this example, I'll be showing you guys how a simple inversion and a unique rhythm can really add some flavor to your track. As you can see with this song, these are all just regular triads. I just raised the third an octave on every single chord, and you get something just a little bit more melodic, right? A lot of times you would see something that maybe follows a rhythm kind of more like this. But that's boring. That's boring. We gotta create something a little more unique here, right? Something just unique to make sure the track is still exciting, but there isn't too much going on during it, right? Now let's move on to step number 2, which is going to be sound selection. A big part of what I'm trying to do with the sound selection on these songs is just trying to create one cohesive atmosphere with these songs. I'm using a lot of pad layers, I'm using a lot of synth layers, sometimes copying and pasting the same exact MIDI file onto a different sound to just try to extract whatever unique characteristic I'm trying to get out of that other preset. And that kind of goes into another point that I want to make during this, finding sounds that have something unique layered with them. Whether it be an airy texture with it or like a weird ARP layer underneath a pad, which you can see with this layer. It's nice, airy, digital nonsense on top that just gives everything a really cool vibe on top of the Rhodes layer that I'm just keeping there for constant, you know, vibe, I guess I'll put it. Weird textures, right, to just build on this atmosphere. And now we move on to tip number 3, which is going to be to manipulate your sounds. When I say this, I mean to take sounds that are already in your production and try to create something new out of them. Try to reprocess them. Just try to get something new out of a sound that's already familiar in the same production. I did that a lot on this track specifically, as you're going to see this reverb swell that I got rising into this song, which is a big piece of what made this drop so impactful. And same thing with this one. All I did was I went onto the master for the first one and I applied Valhalla Vintage Verb onto the master. Then I opened up Edison and I clicked record for a millisecond. I literally went and I just let that reverb play out. And then when I think I have enough of a tail on it, I take that, put it into the project, reverse it, and I have just a really cool, impactful riser that is completely unique to the track. It's not anything that is ever going to be used ever again or has ever been used ever before. I also did the same thing here with the snare of the track, where I just printed it and applied a super long reverb with a delay to just to give it this really far away feeling, so that when everything comes in and lands, it just gives it that much more impact. All right, guys, so yeah, that's about it. I want to thank y'all for watching, for tuning in again. If you stayed until the end, I'm gonna give myself a quick little shout out. I did drop the drum and bass EP that I've been teasing on the channel for the last couple weeks. It is out now on all streaming platforms. It is called the Purple Heart EP. I would appreciate it if y'all showed love on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever y'all like. If y'all want to add on to a playlist or anything, even if you guys don't, man, it's all good. Y'all showed enough love on here and I really appreciate it. I want to thank y'all so much. I never expected these videos to do as well as they did, and none of that could be possible without y'all, man. So thank y'all so much. See y'all in the next one.